Okay, gang, round 3. Hi! Welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Sadie. And I'm gonna try doing this more consistently. But today is Wednesday. It is May 21st of 2025. And if you are new, welcome. This is a place where I talk about all things cross-stitch. Sometimes a little bit of dabbling in sewing, but mainly cross-stitch. And for anyone returning, thank you for coming back. I actually like it when I see Flosstubers have been putting out what date it is that they do their Flosstubes. I feel like it kind of makes it seem like a diary. So I'm gonna try and remember to say that in the beginning. But I always say this, always excited to come here and chat about what I've done in the past couple of weeks. This is one of those special ones where I am really excited to have a first project type that I've done. If you've been following me on Instagram, you've likely seen a couple of pictures of it already. And I also have one of the most amazing vintage cross-stitch finds that I found here locally in my area. It was 30 minutes away. And I don't know if I will top that this year. But we'll see. The year is still going. Let's see where we start. I have 3 starts, 2 whips, 1 piece of haul. I bought in fabric, but 1 piece of haul. Maybe a little bit of tidbits of me kind of doing some hangout with the cross stitching LNS that I have here with the Crafty Grimalkin. And yeah, let's just jump into it. We'll just go in with the exciting thing. I will show you my vintage find. So I like to go on Facebook Marketplace and to look for any of the Mirabilia out of print patterns usually, or any Mirabilia patterns that I'm really looking for. I also go in to find certain dolls that I collect and are not being produced anymore. Some of the more limited edition Rainbow High dolls are ones that I look for, and I try to find ones that are in the local area before trying to buy them. Anyway, one of the things that came up was the beautiful pattern of Lily of the Woods by Mirabilia. I hope I'm saying that right. And I was so excited because I've seen Andrew the Runner Stitcher, and oh my gosh, I have been thinking about him all day as well, trying to remember his name. But I believe on Instagram he's known as that cross stitch guy. But he also has a Flosstube as well. I will try to put the names up here. But Andrew the Runner Stitcher finished her. And the cross stitch guy is still working on her, I believe. But I am excited that I got to find her completed and framed. And that's how I got her. So without further ado, I will introduce you to my Lily of the Woods. I have her right behind me. And oh my gosh, the lady, she was the one that actually stitched it. She lives 45 minutes away, but we met in a halfway point. And she said it took her a little over a year to stitch. And she loved Mirabilia as well. We just talked briefly. And she was like, you may have to give her a bath. Which I was like, she is framed. I'm not giving her a bath. I think she just meant a little bit of sprucing up of the frame itself, but it is completely beautiful. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. Here she is. Ooh. Gang. Gang Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna try to get close and not have my light mess you up. But ooh. She is stitched, back stitched, beaded. And this is one of those where she wasn't really ever on my list to stitch myself, but super beautiful, and I could not pass it up. Look at all those little beads in the bottom. So good. Guys, this is one of those insane finds that you hope to find in Goodwill or a thrift store, and I just found it on Facebook Marketplace out here in Maine. Beautiful. And I'll just put her up here while we chat. I can't even say it was a deal. It was a steal. Like, the woman sold her, I'm not kidding, 50 completed, framed. Oh yeah, I was just like, when and where. And I get to hang her. The other thing that I thought was really nice to see is that she got this framed at a frame store here in Bangor, which I've seen it a couple of times, but I never tried to go in yet because I do have a couple pieces that I can professionally frame, but I just haven't tried going. And this one got done there. And I think they did a fantastic job. So it's really happy for me to know that that place knows how to frame cross stitch. Granted, I don't know how long ago she completed this, but I'm hoping that if I go in, anyone who was there or who's learned from that framer knows how to do cross stitch as well. Guys, I know. Now I have to find a place to hang her. I'm so happy. So that is my exciting find of the year right now. All right. Oh, it was like a complete high. Having her, I got so excited. You know how like sometimes you have half a mind? And I'm like, you know, is this like too good to be true and I'm gonna get stolen or I don't know, something crazy is gonna happen? Thankfully nothing happened. And the lady, who knows if she probably thinks the same thing where she's like, this person's gonna buy this cross stitch. No one buys cross stitch. No. Everything went completely great. So that was it. All right. We'll go into my starts. I'll go into like the more smaller starts and then show you my big new project. I don't know when I'll ever finish that one, but I'm just so excited it got started. May, I have just wanted to start things in May, and I'm kind of letting myself go unhinged and start what I want, and I will deal with the consequences after. We'll see how much we get done. Okay, so these two are little gifts for friends. One is a really small stitch that the pattern I got from Etsy, and it's called Tea Time. But it's a golf tee. And so I started this a few days ago, or I started Sunday. I started like 3 pieces on Sunday. And it is 14 count white Aida. I've been doing the majority of this as 3-stranded over 2. Because I did want to make it look a little chunky. Not super big. I have a feeling I could definitely finish this by... I mean, I'm hoping by like Monday. I work... This is one of those weeks that I work through Sunday. And so it'll be a little busy. I won't be able to do as much stitching time over the weekend as I normally do. But then Monday and Tuesday are my weekend. So I'll be catching up. So I'm hoping by Monday this little dude gets done. And I get to frame him. And he will find his happy home after. This next one I am doing for a friend. I think I've talked about doing one of like a cryptid, and this friend's favorite cryptid is Mothman. So this one's a creepy cute one. I think I showed a picture of it, but I'll show it again. So I finally found a good fabric for it because I wanted something a bit mottled that kind of looked like the moon. And this one is London Fog by Atomic Ranch. It's a 28 count linen. And this is it. My whopping start. The fabric is really cool. Kind of see how it's got a little bit of those shades of darker gray on light gray. So I think it'll do a good job. But it's a really tiny start. So this one I'm hoping to get done closer to May. I don't have a strict timeline, end of June. I don't have a big timeline for it in May, but end of June. It's not super big. I think all of it is like 4,000 stitches, which is not too bad. I can get that done within the month if I really put my heart and soul into it. And then the big one. So I have officially started a mandala. It was very intimidating. I've been looking at all the chatelaines, and This is actually not a shadow lane. I'm planning to start my first one in June. And this one is by Totu Stitch. And her patterns you can buy on the app Pinkoi. So Pinkoi. That's where she sells her patterns. And they're all very beautiful. They don't really look like shadow lanes. Like, it's the same mandala type. Sorry, there's like a phone call. It's the same mandala style, but she puts her own flavor. Hers are a little bit more repeated when it comes to what is around. So I think Shadowlane Designs does put more variety on all the corners of their mandalas. But some of the bigger ones that Totu Stitch does is more varied. And this is one of those that when I saw it, I fell in love with it. And it's called Festive Fervor. It's essentially one filled with like circus theme. It's a circus themed mandala. So there aren't any huge, so I know people have triggers with certain phobias. So if you have like a huge phobia for clowns, the image itself, which I've probably already put up, so I'm sorry, but there are probably a couple of clowns that are on the corners. There's really only two, and I feel like sometimes I can barely see them, but just in case, they're there. And I loved it. I really wanted to stitch it, and when I saw, I got it as a digital pattern. So you get it as a digital pattern. I downloaded it. I was very happily surprised that I was able to download it into Pattern Keeper. Mind you, because like half of the 100 whatever stitches or motifs are like Krynic, or it's mainly rainbow threads, some dinky dyes, like specialty flosses and beads, you have to manually input for those symbols. All the symbols show up, but you would have to manually input those with a custom color if you want. That took some time, but I did put the effort to do it because I wanted to see what would actually happen with the design on Pattern Keeper, and it actually came out pretty well. It doesn't show back stitching, it doesn't show the specialty stitches, so I've had to do the weird thing where I have this on my phone. I use it on Pattern Keeper, but then I have my laptop that shows the design in its fullness with the specialty stitches and with the colors and stuff. But it's been working to at least keep track, and now Pattern Keeper did a recent update where it now lets you highlight quarter stitches and half stitches, which it didn't do before. So that was an interesting upgrade. Anyway, I started doing that, and I've been happily surprised at how I've been liking it. So I started in the center because that's where she recommended to start, and I think it's looking good. This is it. I'm gonna stand up for you. I said on Instagram, I've been posting it. I started down here, and the main thing, the crazy thing is the majority of this is Rainbow Gallery thread, so it's shiny thread. These little corners, this is DMC. These pinks on the side, that's fancy thread, but this is pinks. And then, fun enough, I'm doing my best. Okay, I should scoot just in case I put in like closer picture of where I'm working. Down here is where the elephant is going to be. Like, this is technically a carousel, so there's going to be 4 different animals. And the animals, the stitches here are 1/1. So I'm working on like the big top, and how the big top is normally red, white, repeated. It's actually like a pink and ecru. Different shades of pink with ecru in between. But that is 1/1. Those. This was your regular, if I can put my finger, 2/2. These are 1/1. Well, it's supposed to be 1/1. I'm doing 2/1 10 stitch, so half stitch. And that's been going fine. And then in there, that is my first time ever doing Algerian eyelets. It wasn't too crazy. I just had to remember to go into each hole as I needed to go. It wasn't bad. But I have to do that same thing over here and here and there. And then there's plenty more. Like, there's so many more things, but now I can cross off on the specialty stitches that I've done in Algerian Islet. So yeah, so this is all of it. I definitely did. I saw that Elizabeth from Thread Gremlins did this, and I put a little arrow to say this is up, that this is how it's supposed to go for orientation. And this is the whole fabric. Oh my jeez. It is a doozy. A doozy. This fabric is Blush by Zweigart. 32 count, and I have it cut at 32 by 36. So we will see how this goes. And it's Lugana. This one's Lugana. I'm excited for it. I was so happy that I was able to start a mandala. We will see. I like to put in some stitches to it whenever I can. And I started this one on Sunday as well. So 4 days, and I was happy I was able to complete the circle. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, those are my starts. And then my focus piece of the week, you can say, I'm sorry, here we go, has been Morning Musings by Lindy Stitches. That one I haven't been able to put down, and I got a lot of progress on it. I would say I'm definitely a little over halfway done. And I am just continuing to truck along. I am super happy with the fabric that I chose. I don't know the name of it because I got this one in Australia, and it was a fat quarter, and Ronnie knew that it was a fox and rabbit, but that's it. But here they are. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Okay, one. Yes, it's very small. So like, right, this is the piece. And so I have plenty of hot pink fabric for some other amazing. Ooh. Don't know if it'll work for that. I'll talk about that in a second. I'm like thinking of what other project could I use it for. But let's bring it up. So they're looking good. So fun story. We had like a colleague retreat this past weekend during Mother's Day weekend, which I kind of feel bad because, right, mom's weekend, they want to be with their family by themselves, but worked to put it out for that time. Anyway, there were a lot of kiddos, and one of the colleagues' kiddos, she has to be, how old is she? She has like 5? Probably 4. I think she's 4 going on 5. And running around, crazy kiddo, like all the kiddos, like just running, can't stop. Saw me on the last day just stitching on this. She paused, sat with me, and she just pulled up a chair, sat, watched me stitching on the pairs. And sometimes, you know, I feel like kiddos want to interact, like be involved, and I go, do you want to try putting a stitch in? And she goes, no. I go, okay. So kept on stitching. Laser beam. Mom, shocked. She was like, I haven't ever seen her just sit like this. I kept on going. I kept on stitching. And then another kid pulled up and same thing. He just stared. Because, I mean, they haven't seen anything like it. So finally, I was like, well, I have to color. I have to color this. Because on paper, I was like, I have to color this pattern. Do you want to color? No. Do you want to pick the highlighter color? Okay. So she got to pick my highlighter colors. I didn't care. And so whenever I finished a few rows or something, then I'd be like, okay, I need a color. What color? And she'd choose. That was, like I said, that was the day we were leaving, and the mom was like, do you want to come up? Nope, I'm okay. Do you want to pick your clothes out, or do you want me to pick? You can pick. Oh my gosh, she didn't leave. Like, she had to get changed there at the table while I was stitching this. It was the most adorable thing. I was like, and I swear, everyone was just like, I cannot believe this kiddo is just watching you. So I have a feeling I'm gonna have to. she sees this again and is interested, I may have to give her a cross stitch project. Cause yeah, that's how, I feel like that's how it starts, right? You see someone do it and you're like, what is this voodoo amazing hobby that I didn't know exists? And that's how you reel them into the world, right? So I was super happy. So I think about that all the time with this one. I'm hoping to get this done by the time I see you next time. So that'll be the goal. Hopefully I'll probably see you when it's June, but I'm hoping to get this done next couple weeks. That is Morning Musings. And I didn't show it before, but if you wanted to see the full pattern, here's the full pattern. So, right, I've got the majority. I've essentially got the majority of the top. Just have to fill in the bowl, finish the wording on the bottom, and the bottom mandala motifs. Excited. Okay, and then on Sunday, I was able to go to Reese's Stitch and Sip, or Sip and Stitch, however you want to put it, this past Sunday. It was from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it was nice. It was my second time heading out there. The sip part is essentially bringing whatever you want to drink. So I made myself a good pot of coffee in a tumbler. And the project I worked on was You Belong to Me by Long Dog Sampler. So I wanted to work on my long dog, put a little bit of work on them. And I've realized, which is probably opposite of what other people do, but when I go somewhere to like a group meetup, or to a retreat, in my mind, I really am going to stitch. I was like, this is a cross stitch retreat, a cross stitch get together. I'm here to cross stitch. And I do that. Granted, and then I see people around me and they're, chatting, catching up, or talking about what the latest stuff was, but I'm just there to listen and stitch because I want to get work done. That's just me. So if you ever see me out there at a retreat, that's kind of my vibe. More than happy, guys. You could come and talk to me. I will entertain. I am a very ridiculously shy person, and it takes me a bit to get out of my shell. But I like to be surrounded by the noise. I like to be surrounded by passionate people that love this hobby. So that was me then, being around people. It was fun. It was probably like 12 to 14 people, which they felt like was a pretty good number to be there. And it definitely was a way for Reese to get some sales, because I definitely bought some stuff, and everyone did, right? It's an excuse to be around her shop and then also stitch whatever you find. So hopefully I already put a picture of the sampler, and I pretty much worked on a bird, but I'll show the whole thing. Some of you may or may not have seen it. This is the whole beautiful thing. It is on the fabric Fall in Love by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. I believe it's a 28 count. That is what I've gotten done. I've done the top row. Currently working through the top middle. And I worked on that big bird with the necklace. Mainly the parts I worked with on the back row of his head and down into his neck and his body where the necklace are. That's pretty much all I got. Last time you guys saw this, I worked on those 3 emus. And so that's been my goal, to just get to work on those motifs. I always enjoy seeing this one. And I like pulling it out for you guys. He's cute. But yeah. So that is You Belong to Me. Alrighty. The last one that I got to work on a smidge today, because it is mermaid and I needed to work on a mermaid. I've been working on so many other things that I have not worked on a mermaid this past week. So I was able to pull out Periwinkle Mermaid, put together by Kat from Whittier Stitches. And I just got to put in a few more wisps of her hair. So I'll show you the digital mock-up. And this is her. I'll go up here. Super beautiful mermaid. Kat was amazing when she created this to give you 4 different skin color conversions. So I think I'm going with this one, with the darker skinned one. But this is what it is. I'm mainly working back here on the wisps of her hair that is closer to the tail. So just some context for when you see it. Otherwise you're gonna think, oh, this is just wisps of dark gray, which is very true as well. All right. The fabric here is Dark Reflection by Mystic Fabrics. It is a 28 count Lugana. And let's see where we're at. I am just making sure because I think it's this way. Okay, so this is the whole thing, but really what I worked on were those little wispies. Just getting a start on the hair. Just starting. But that's how all our projects start. Just one start. Okay. And it's really cool because her hair is really different shades of gray. So that was the 3799, like the really dark gray, almost black. And then the next one is this one. This one's 169. So with the colors, I think it makes it look like black hair. So it makes it look great. I'm wanting to put in a little bit more work on her. Okay, I was like, before I continue rambling, I'm just making sure I go through my list of things that we chatted about. One little piece of haul that I got that I thought was exciting is, I don't know if I showed it. If I did, I'm sorry. But I got the Collectors by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And this one is mainly to accompany the Summoner that Erin put out for Nashville Needlework Marketplace. And I'm like, wait, this is a series? So I needed to get the Collectors, and I did. And I'm gonna have to find a way to stitch them up at some point. That is one of my pattern haul. I think I'll show you more next time, but I just wanted to focus a lot more on that first mandala and on Lily of the Woods for as my vintage finds. Okay, let's see. A unique thing, I'm like, this is so long overdue, I have been meaning to say it, but a nifty little thing that I was late to the party to recognize, and I was introduced this by a wonderful lady named Lynn, and I met her at the Mirabilia retreat in March, and she's like so great. She's one of those where she's one of those people that has a very infectious aura around them, like very bubbly, but not like in your face bubbly loud. She was like so in her element, so comfortable with herself, likes to talk around people, likes to hear you. Like when she's listening, she really is listening to you and engaging with you. So a great active listener. Her stories were hilarious. Like she's just a generally funny person. I was thinking to myself, like, if she was my grandma, I would love her as my grandmother. And I felt like super grateful that I got to have her as a table mate at the retreat. So Lynn, if you're there, thank you for being my table mate. But one of the things that she brought up that it was just in random conversation was a snag nabbit. And I was like, what did you say? She's like, yeah, have you not used one? I go, no, I don't know what this is. So I brought it because I bought one. And she talked about it. And of course, it was one of those where like when they talked about these little nifty things, you're like, oh, I don't know if I'll ever use it. And then seriously, 2 days later, I needed one because I had this situation happen. So this fun little item I will show is a snag nabbit. So it's essentially a needle, but it's just tip of a needle with very like a lot of friction, a lot of twirl curls at the end. It doesn't have a hole. This is not meant to be used to thread floss. This is used for those moments when you have in fabric, and I don't know if I'd have one with me on one, where when you're stitching and all of a sudden a thread from one of the neighboring fabrics or the ends of one like comes up and you're not able to push it back down with your needle. So what you would do is you would bring out the snag nabbit, put it through that hole where that extra floss went, and essentially the ridged area will grab onto the thread and should bring it back down. And that's all it does. Which is very helpful because you don't want some of those stragglers to show up, right? And you try to put, like I've done it multiple times where I try to use my own needle to try to figure out which thread was it, how to pull it through. Sometimes I can, sometimes I cannot. So when I found this nifty thread, this nifty tool, I went, oh my gosh, like I didn't know I needed you in my life. And now I have you. So I got this one on Amazon. It was pretty cheap. They're like maybe $3. They have them there. 123 has them, but if you want to give them a go, that's what they're called, snag nabbits. I was like, Lynn, I am so long overdue to be like, yes, this tool exists, and thank you for introducing it to me. I've already used it a couple of times, and then I thought I lost it, but of course I found it, so that's always a good thing. All right. I think now we're at the next part where I talk about my plans, and so we're still in May, and I still want to do a lot of work with Mermaid. I put in my original May goals that I was going to finish Beauty and the Beast by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it, especially with all the work that I've been starting, but I definitely want to get good progress on it. So I'm going to have to do some shifting of whips that I have to be able to make that my focus piece. I'm literally so hooked right now on Morning Musings of getting that done that I think the moment I get that done and tea time, those two for sure, then I'll be able to shift to Beauty and the Beast. So I think that's what's going to happen. For starts, Periwinkle was the main one that I wanted to start for Mermaid. And I started stars, I worked on like deep sea mermaids, so I got to be able to do a good amount of mermaid stuff. But I still want to do that. It's still May. We still got like a week and a half of May. So I want to be able to enjoy that as much as I can. So next time you may see a couple finishes. I'm hoping, because I think I already know what frame I'm going to use for Morning Musings. I'm hoping that's an FFO. And that'll be super nice to show you guys next time I see you, because I do want to get it completed and hung up in my office at work. So I'm planning to show you guys an FFO, if not 2 FFOs, once I finish tea time. And oh, that was the other one. Oh, I didn't show it. Okay, it's gonna have to wait till next time. I was like, I knew I was forgetting something. I worked on the May motif for Stitch for Pride, and I finished it. So I got May's done. I was just like, I know it's upstairs, and I don't have it with me. So that'll be a nice surprise for you. For next time, you may see that one completed and me starting June's, and I am so excited. Like, I don't know what D is gonna pick for June's motif with which figure, but Night Stalker's Calling has some amazing colors coming out for their June Mystery Floss Club pack, where they normally put out 3 flosses a month, and this one they're making it pride focused. So I think the 3 flosses are going to be pertained to the 3 different pride flags. So I know for sure I want to use one of those for the June motif. Which one? I don't know. I'll have to wait until I see what the motif is for that month. But that'll be exciting. And I think that's it. So thanks for joining. Life-wise, if I put a little bit, I've been trying to get out more because it's been a little bit warmer. Everyone's being a little bit sassy with the weather here because it's been the 8th wet weekend, as in rainy weekend here in Maine, and the people are over it. They want a dry weekend to be able to go out and do stuff. So I think that I learned last year. So last year I started taking some dance classes, like ballroom dance classes. My boyfriend, he was a professional, like, competitive ballroom dancer back in his 20s, so over a decade ago, and he did that for a bit before we ever met. I've been wanting to learn some new dances to be able to just go out and have fun. So I started taking the classes on my own, and then we started going to a couple of the social dance clubs that are around here. One of them is really cool. It happens on Saturdays, and essentially it's an all, like, they call it an alumni band, but essentially it's a bunch of adults that have played these instruments for so long, and it's an orchestra of people that just play a bunch of songs that we dance to. So the ones that we've learned are like waltz, rumba, salsa, swing, the cha-cha. Those are the ones that we've mainly learned, and it's been fun. It's been really good. The dancer, Terrence, here in Bangor, is starting tomorrow an intermediate dance class, and I will plan to be going to that. So Thursdays will be my dance class nights. It'll be fun to see what we learn from there. That's kind of what's happening in my life. I'm trying to branch out and learn new things, trying to get my brain to be active, stimulated, and I like that. I like learning something and being challenged by it. That is different from work, right? Different from other cerebral or like desk computer things. So this one, the fact that I have to do coordination with my feet, listen to the music, I enjoy it. Yeah, that's kind of my little life update. So I hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for letting me be excited about my vintage find and my first ever mandala experience. I hope that won't be the last time. You'll be seeing plenty more. And have a good rest of your May. Bye!